All right, so we're gonna start the February 5th meeting of the Kingston Parks and Recreation. And this meeting is being recorded. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. And we'll start with roll call.
Missy Bateman,
Here, sorry,
Eileen Moynihan, Joe Cunningham.
Here.
Pat Rooney.
Here.
And Suzanne Dormady.
Haggerty.
Haggerty. Why do I have Dormady?
Oh, she goes back.
They're interchangeable.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad.
And then we had prior meeting minutes that need approval.
You guys should have those in your folder.
I think
they were already sent out.
they're, yeah,
14th, right?
Yep.
The last one.
December 4th.
December 4th was last, it's underneath your. Right there. And they went out by email.
Yep. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from Monday, December 4th, 2023.
Second,
All those in favor, Joe,
Aye.
Suzanne,
aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Missy, aye. Sorry, we have to do that because it's
That's
like
okay.
online.
Yeah, yep.
And then our first agenda item is a special permit application. The first one is the Hilltop Athletic Association. You have my only copy, but that's fine. You can share.
Nope, you can take
Is
it.
that okay?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Um,
I have a face radio. I'm gonna sit over here.
okay. That's good, the face radio. All right, so we have, Mr. Ken Moali put in as the event organizer contact person, and the organization is the Hilltop Athletic Association on Pottle Street. The event name is the Food Truck Thursday, and it's a community food truck night. They begin at 4, they end at 8. And there's anywhere between 750 to 1,500 participants. And what they're looking for from us is the Benelli Field overflow parking on these event nights. And
See the blue.
this blue one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay. And the Hilltop AA has hosted a community food truck event for the past 2 years. It's become a very popular event and often cannot accommodate the amount of vehicles in the parking lot. They are respectfully asking the Recreation Commission to reserve the Benelli Field parking area for use as an overflow parking site. They will have paid staff on site as well as ample signage to promote orderly traffic flow and parking. And they would like us to note that occasionally there will be vehicles that overflow into the main parking area of the complex, and they will try to mitigate this as circumstances require. Any discussion? Yep. Suzanne?
So how does this interact with some of because this is an ongoing issue, right, for us down at those fields? How does this intersect with some of our baseball activities or spring sport activities that are down at Obuchinsky?
Sue, do you want to speak to the scheduling aspect of that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think part of it, as they mentioned, they've been doing it for the last couple of years, but I think in the last couple of years, last year, even more so, that the challenge has been, like you said, can you hear me, Suzanne? Sorry.
Again, yeah.
The challenge has been that there's been more cars both at that event and then our sports organization. So it has become a concern for public safety. We've been told by both our fire chief and accessibility of being able to get in and out of there on certain times. And then we've had the sports organizations having some concern as well, just because, like you said, with scheduling based off of it's just not allowed some parking for the sports organizations during their Thursday night and afternoon activities, which is in the springtime and in the fall. We also have football. So I think the request is April to October.
September, at the end of September.
End of September. So April to the end of September on Thursday evenings.
Mm.
Or it could be the end of October. I think I might have asked at the end of October.
So Suzanne, I can go on, having discussions with KYBSL because they'd be the main people that would be down there on B1. And I went back and I looked at the 2022 and 2023 schedules for both spring and summer. And on Thursdays, there were 6 combined hits that came up, and they were all practices.
Mm,
We had not been using B2 because B2 had not been at a playable level. So any sort of, makeup games or practices or anything can be moved up to B2, and we can leave B1 alone. And it shouldn't affect the baseball or softball schedules.
okay.
Vanelli,
That's B1.
that's B1.
Yeah, will that be the same with the rework on B1 this year? That it wouldn't be being used during that time, now that the field's gonna be redone,
No, it would be used, but just not on Thursdays.
not on Thursday.
Correct. Thursdays is a very light day for both of those things, both sports.
Madam Chair, Mayor.
Please.
I have had a conversation with you. I would never come to you folks without doing my due diligence and discussing this. And can you hear me? So,
Okay,
right. I would not come to you folks and ask you for this without doing my due diligence. And as you know, I've been in this town for a long time. I've been on this commission and I've been part of, this town and KYBSL for a long time. I would never put you folks in a position to choose something without having an intelligent answer for you. And the intelligent answer is, I've already talked to the baseball board. I've already talked to some members of KYSL. And I know that we can make this all work. The Hilltop Athletic Association has been a huge supporter of youth athletics in this town for a long time. And we will continue to do that. But unfortunately, financial constraints on our club have made this event important to us. And, oh, by the way, it's become a huge community event. And we're attracting people from other communities, and that's bringing money into the community. So I understand and I feel the pain of, some of the circumstances of the past, but we've mitigated from day one. We've mitigated. The club has put a lot of money into mitigating any conflicts. And the only conflict that arose in the past year was a conflict of scheduling on KYSO's part. It wasn't the Hilltop, it wasn't the rec commission, it was just a snafu by KYSO, and actually, we fixed it. I mean, we went through the whole thing, and I would say we got huge support from the rec commission that day, and we made it work. So knowing in advance what we have and having baseball and softball's blessing, saying they're gonna stay out of that field on those days. I think we could all work as a community to make this a great event for the community. And that's what I'm hoping we get out of this whole conversation.
Okay.
okay.
I had, Suzanne, do you have anything else? Can you let whoever's coming in right now? Oh, Eileen, perfect. Sorry,
That's okay.
I could jump across, but. So it sounds like KYBSL's been checked on and that scheduling, and we've checked with football.
I have not checked with
Okay.
football. The only conflict with football was that whole KYSO's conflict.
And that was
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday.
And that's the Saturday, Sunday, but they do.
And
have
that was not
practice
this
too.
event. That's a
That's a
completely different event.
Okay.
That's
and
gonna
then-
be another meeting.
Just so we're clear, the first-
We just want to make sure we have all the pieces in place. Okay, and then I guess my only concern is that we make sure that football's good with Thursday nights, that they're not going to have like their big kickoff event. What do they have? It's like the start of the season where they have a big scrimmage with other towns. I don't know what day of the week that is. I just remember having it. So I think we
Yeah.
have to make sure that doesn't conflict. And then lacrosse, I would like to check with too, because that's their season as well. So those are my two concerns. You're all set with baseball.
Right, and football, soccer and lacrosse don't utilize B1 anyway. They'd be in the
Okay,
back
they'll
end.
be way in.
But
But
I
on that
I
Thursday,
was
as
gonna
long as
say,
it's
on
not
the
a big
scrimmage
event.
day,
Yeah.
even though they don't utilize it, like, cause when Missy said, cause both of our kids play football as well,
Yeah.
and yours as well, but on whatever day, maybe if it's not a Thursday, it's not.
Right,
an
it
issue,
might
but
be a
if
non-issue. I
it's a
can't remember
Wednesday,
what
that's
day it
fine,
is.
but
Yeah.
they do use that they park all the way back
Yep.
out there
Yeah.
for the scrimmages, cause you've got 7 teams and.
Yep, all
Coming all
different
at the same
towns
time.
coming in. So I remember that being a big
They were
event. I
all
don't
at
think
the same
lacrosse
time.
has anything big like that, but just to check in with them with
If
the
I may
football.
answer that. So
Sure,
I was asked to bring this forward to
Okay.
the rec commission to give a heads up to the sports.
Yep,
Well, right now, Silver Lake Youth Football doesn't know what day that scrimmage is.
okay,
I'm giving the heads up because I was asked to give the heads up.
so that they don't
So
create
they
the
don't
schedule on
create
that
that
Thursday.
conflict,
Okay,
right?
are they gonna
So,
come back and yell at us, though?
yell at you about what? I mean, with
I
all due
just wanna make
respect,
sure that
with
their
all due
fields are
respect,
covered.
since I've been a resident of Kingston,
Yeah,
there's been a private softball group that has used
Yep.
B1 on Fridays.
Yep.
That baseball, football, soccer, no matter what the sport is, has always wrapped around that.
yep,
That's why I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to do the right thing
Yeah.
to give the heads up and say, hey, if
Yeah.
you're gonna have your scrimmage, you can have your scrimmage on a Wednesday, you can have your scrimmage on a Friday, you know? Um, it's just, I'm trying to do the right thing here. And I can't, with all due respect to this commission, you can't anticipate them having a problem if I'm here in February telling them that in September, we're gonna have, that field booked on Thursday nights. I think that's just the only fair thing to do.
I know on the scheduling under KYBSL for our internal schedule, not the rec schedule that we have. But the internal schedule, what I've done before in the past, and I would do it in this case, I blocked off B1 for Old Colony softball. And so when coaches went in to go make up a practice or do a scrimmage, they would see the conflict, okay, B1's not available. So I think that would be something that we could do too.
And that's fair.
suggest
That's all I
that for the
ask.
other three sports.
Correct.
all I
We just, put it in that Thursdays from 4 to 8, from, whenever to whenever. That B1 would be blocked off.
And we can do the same thing. I don't disagree with you. I mean, we can do that in our system as well to block it off for B1. But the reality again is that football schedules their scrimmage on a Thursday night. Doesn't matter if we blocked off B1 because nobody's technically playing. It's just the parking area.
Correct.
That's gonna be the issue. So
Right,
I think, and you're probably you guys must, it's not just B1, you go over to that other spot that's over by the well shed as well. B1 doesn't have much parking.
Right, well, that
All the
that
way to
is,
wrap around. up
in
to
that-
outside of the fence of Operation.
in this,
correct?
in this request, all we're asking for is anything, as we
Yeah.
like to put it, anything prior to the choke point.
yep,
Now, we have made a significant investment in personnel, equipment, signage to make sure that we keep the flow of traffic into past that choke point. The first night we ever did this, we saw a problem. Okay? We made the investment immediately, like within 48 hours, we made the investment to make sure that it was mitigated, and we had it done. Unfortunately, because of the scheduling center, the only other time it reared its head was because of a KYSO scheduling snafu. And it happens.
And it
I
wasn't
get
with
it.
the
I've
food
been
trucks.
there. It wasn't with the food trucks. It was
it
another
was something totally separate.
completely
Yep,
separate event,
Yep.
which was on such an arbitrary day where
Right.
nothing ever would have happened,
Mhm.
but it did. And we all came together, Rec Commission, Hilltop, sports, KYSO. We all came together to mitigate it, to make it work, and we did. Now, I'm surprised that the fire chief has said anything to Sue about this, other than that one time. Because I have been in constant communication with the fire chief, the police chief, the town administrator, streets, trees and parks. I have asked them all, point blank, tell me why I can't do this event. And there is no reason, they said, if you have these check boxes done, there is no reason you can't do these events. And so
Yeah.
I take pride in crossing my Ts and dotting my Is and being proactive. And that's why I'm here in February talking to you about April through September
Mhm.
or October. And I respectfully ask that this commission approves this request and works with the Hilltop to keep, a nice community event going.
Any questions? Concerns, discussion?
No, I just think that this is part of our ongoing sort of, thing that we're trying to solve for, right? Yeah. a lot of usage down there, making sure that we're doing the right thing by everybody involved and slotting in, so.
And you're comfortable with having conversations, being the rep with the other sports to make sure that.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Like I said, I think it would be a good idea to block it on the rec calendar as well.
Yeah,
And like I said, internally, KYBSL will do it.
okay,
And again, for the vast majority of that time, they'd be the ones most affected by that field. But
okay,
like I said, both baseball and softball groups are okay with it.
okay.
And Madam Chair, in closing, I'd just like to say, if there's anything that Hilltop can do to help you folks or any the KYSO, just reach out.
Yeah,
Everybody has my cell phone.
Yep.
You know, just let me
Yeah.
know. And we're happy to work with you folks.
is there any issue, and like, this is like opening up a can of worms, but I just want to make sure, is there any issue if we vote in favor of this and they're using that parking space and something happens, does there have to be insurance for parking spaces?
We need to have their certificate of liability insurance from
Okay.
Hilltop, just like we would for anybody
Okay.
else that does it, so.
Yeah, I would say
once
you-
approved, would need your certificate. the
Right.
Hilltop certificate.
I would say you would treat this as if we're renting the field.
Yep.
Just like any other
Okay,
organization
Well,
renting the field.
then we'd have to
In
charge-
essence, we're renting
Yeah.
the field. What's that?
then we'd have to charge it.
Yeah.
So people who-
right, so
We are willing to
just.
make a substantial donation to KYSO as we do every year to continue the relationship.
So the certificate of liability will be what we need,
Yeah.
and then everything else on this checklist is the signage, they already have their plans, their traffic plans. I mean, it's not an event that's new, it's. You know, the Board of
All those,
Selectmen's, all that
just for the record, all those other check marks have nothing to do with the rec commission.
Right,
Because the event itself is on private property.
exactly,
And there's no crossover.
Right.
We've gone up, down, back and
Yeah.
forth with our
none of
insurance
this
company.
matters to
Right,
us.
Right.
with the
It
private
matters a
entity.
lot to us and
Right. Yeah.
we put, screws to the food trucks to make sure they're insured, that they're inspected, and
Yeah.
anybody that comes to this event can be well assured that the fire chief has inspected these trucks. The Board of Health has inspected these trucks. We have done everything that we can to
And
make
that's
sure
not in
this
our
is a
purview
great
anyway, we're
event
we're
for the
really
community.
just
I know, but I'm
doing
trying
the
to pump
parking.
up the-
I know, I got you. I got you. I understand.
Before you go, when you guys vote or whatever, I
Yep.
do want to ask a couple other questions.
You want to ask before we vote?
Sure, so
Okay.
so when you had mentioned other events, so this would be the process now moving forward, so if you have another event that's on a weekend where you're expecting overflow, or any time
Yes.
that you think is expecting overflow, it'd be the same process.
Right.
And the same if you have somebody that rents out the Hilltop, even if it's not your event, like we had a group last year that came
Mhm.
and they were renting out the Hilltop, running their own event, and then they requested overflow parking, that was,
Tipsy.
Gypsy Top Top.
Hot Tots.
They requested from you folks?
Correct.
Oh, see they were out of line there. They should have asked, I should have asked that. I apologize for that. That
oh,
was,
so we thought they were renting from you and then.
they were,
Yeah,
and I should have made that request to you folks.
okay.
In
Either
there,
way.
Based on-
okay, either way.
Yeah,
Okay,
on
on me.
behalf of
Okay.
the Hilltop and not
Sure.
them, because we have that liability.
Okay,
What, I shouldn't say liability. We have that responsibility.
Okay.
Because,
So any
Yeah.
event that you expect potential overflow. would
Right.
Have to come to the same.
we'll go through the
process.
same process.
and I would, again, respectfully ask the commission to understand that I know the limitations of this commission, of those facilities, of
Yep.
KYSO, and I would never do anything to, threaten that relationship. And I do know we have an event coming up in June that may be a potential conflict, and I would ask this commission at that point to say, hey,
Okay.
we'd like to close the facility for that entire day. Because for reasons we'll talk of, I'll put in a letter
Mhm.
to you folks.
And it'll be
to
separate
discuss.
than this
It's
one. We're voting
absolutely
on.
separate,
Right,
completely
Okay.
different.
okay,
But again, it's another great
Yep.
community event that brings a lot of money to the town of Kingston.
Yep.
And it wouldn't be good to just push them away just because. So
sure.
anyway, I thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it, Lucy.
Do you want us to vote while
Yeah,
you're here? or-
you can vote while I'm here or not. but-
You're like ready to scatter. You're out of here.
I get another meeting.
I know, right? No, you can go. You don't have to stay.
All right.
I'm just giving
Thanks.
you a hard time. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, all right.
Thanks for coming. Um, so given that you feel pretty comfortable and you're our rep and you can manage this, I know this has been a big hot topic for us. So as long as you feel comfortable and at any point, if we do vote for this and we're comfortable with it, if we see that things aren't working the way that they need to be, is this something that we can then bring back to the table? Like,
Say we should be able to reserve the right to have another discussion or another sit down. with
Correct.
excluded parties.
Which is, I think, is kind of part of that application anyway,
Yep.
the first part of that,
Yep.
you know, if there's a situation, so.
So
I
we
think
have
we
that.
Have that
Okay.
opportunity to
okay,
say something.
yeah,
to that.
after the first couple, if it's tough and yeah, we can renege on that. Okay.
Joe, anything?
No.
Okay. I saw you on mute.
Can I,
Go ahead, Ally.
can I
Yeah.
ask a question? Sorry, I arrived late, apologies. So what, can somebody just give me the 10-second description? here? Thanks.
Sure, yeah, so the Hilltop is requesting overflow parking for their Thursday night food truck events that they have
Yep,
for the Benelli Field.
okay,
And he's asking, they're gonna have extra manpower there to help facilitate that. And they're hoping to use the Benelli parking lot essentially. And Pat
Good.
feels comfortable. He's spoken with, being our rep, he's spoken with the parties that need to be involved and my only question was, is football and lacrosse and soccer been brought in on this? But Pat feels pretty comfortable that he's gonna
It-
touch base with them about that.
and this is May through October, right?
This
Roughly
is April through October.
April, okay, all right,
Yep,
got it, thank you.
sure. So without any further discussion or questions, unless somebody has it, is there a motion on the table? Of any kind?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the special permit for the Hilltop. The Hilltop Club, looking to use B1 Benelli Field parking, overflow parking for their food trucks on Thursday nights, running from April through October.
Second. Okay. Go ahead, Eileen.
No, I was gonna second it, you beat me to it, Suzanne.
Okay. I couldn't tell who said
Suzanne,
it. Okay.
Yeah, second
Thank
it. Okay, all those in favor? Eileen,
I,
Joe,
Aye.
Suzanne made the second.
Aye.
You,
Aye.
yeah, and Missy, I. All right, great. So we'll put that in the rec calendar and you can take that. and vote. And then we have a second agenda item, which is another special events permit application for KYSO. The contact person is Ann Gavigan. I think I saw her come in. Hi, do you want to come sit? Well, I just feel like it's so far away. We don't have that many people, so. So Anne is looking for the event. She actually brought this up the last time she was here and we have had this for the last couple of years, but it's the KYSO opening day, family day event. She's looking for April 1st. The location event is the Opachitsky Fields, pretty much that full complex altogether.
It's the date that
It's-
you have.
It's March 30th. Take that
It's the first Thursday in April.
first Thursday in April.
Eight.
Don't listen, Dan. Saturday before.
Very confusing.
Okay,
March 30th.
is it? So March 30th,
That's your birthday?
excuse that correction. I changed on the application. It's for a cross-country race along with the KYSO sport activities. The event start time is 8 AM to 2 PM. And there isn't a number of spectators or participants, but I was assume, okay, 100. Ish.
Yeah.
All right. And is this the third year for, what are we on?
Oh,
Four?
gosh.
It's been a
Well, the
couple.
Family day and the race at the complex, this is, I think, our fifth,
Okay,
minus the COVID year.
okay.
Um,
So
then we
5
had-
years in the making
and then
and,
we had two ticket had and one. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
down the complex, that we made it a family day.
all right.
Last year we got rained out.
That's right. And this coincides with the opening of the field, obviously.
Yeah, so that was my only question is, so
Oh,
yes,
okay.
kind of, and it's a little earlier. So
Okay.
I don't know what the expectation is about getting into the complex that early. I mean, I know normally opening day for most of the sports groups is April 1st, so we let people in, try to get people in there the week before, weather dependent. So, I mean, that's up to you guys, but the earliest that they usually get in there is the week before, which would be the 25th,
Okay,
ish.
of March.
Yes, and again, restrooms and facilities and all of that, that really is dependent on the weather there. So we don't
Okay.
usually have it open by then, but
Unless there's something crazy that happens,
like a
deep freeze or
snowstorm.
something, a
I
snowstorm.
know, obviously, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, this is all weather dependent on our end. too.
yeah, exactly. So if we do discuss that, do we put in weather dependent or do we just say,
Well, like last
I
year,
mean,
last
right,
year
yeah.
we had a like hurricane,
right,
so we canceled it. and did
Right.
it 6 weeks later.
yeah.
And, it took away from some of the stuff, but we still were able to do the little
Okay.
kids. Um,
so in
I would-
thinking that we could, either party could decide,
So
If
you
the event
guys, we
can move
normally
forward.
don't, we used to not open the complex for
Right.
April 1st. So
Right.
now we keep pushing it further up. And so we're gonna be opening it sooner, meaning
Yep.
that sports groups are gonna have to get in there and
You see, that's why, sorry to interrupt, but that's why we did it the 30th, because we know we were under the assumption that it was April 1st, and we need to stop before soccer takes over everything. And that's why we were trying to do it the Saturday before the complex opened. Now you're saying the complex opens earlier?
no, it doesn't open
Oh,
earlier. That's what
okay.
I'm saying. It doesn't, but in order for people to start their sports seasons, they usually need to get in there a little bit ahead of time to get everything ready, prep, whether it's sheds
Yeah.
and things like that. So from your perspective, when can we start letting people do that? Because again, if we get in there too early, there's a potential to ruin things. So I don't know what, Pat, your thoughts are about that.
It really comes down to weather dependency, because I mean, I know that in the, how many years have I been in? 11 years I've been involved. I know that we've opened up right around April 1st. But I also remember getting pushed back to like the 15th
yeah,
because of
Weather,
snowstorms
yeah.
and floods and rains and all that sort of stuff. So,
the field flooding was an issue one year,
Yes.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So we could potentially approve this based on, the weather dependency
Correct.
on both
Correct.
parties.
It's literally, yeah.
Okay,
And we don't have a rain date yet per se, but it
Okay.
would probably be similar to what we did last year near the end of school. So it would be like June, middle of the week like we did last year. I have no idea when the end of school is, so we couldn't pick that day out yet.
yeah,
You pivoted to KIS for the run, right? Isn't that what happened? Or did
No,
you
no,
run
no,
a
no,
complex?
that was brought up and vetoed.
Okay.
Back to the- Yeah. we've
so
always
it's
said-
gonna be the complex, you're looking to run the cross-country race and all the activities
Yeah.
on that same day.
The
in the same
logistics to
place.
go to KIS was far more than anyone wanted to volunteer and do.
Okay,
So
yeah, to run 2 different locations and 2 different events. Any questions,
Mm-mm,
comments, discussion?
mm-mm.
does everyone know like what it entails, that it's on the here or on the web?
You can give this, go ahead,
Okay,
give this. to me.
So we started doing a cross-country run for the kids like 8, 9, 10 years ago. So that we could have a fundraising quote unquote event, which didn't involve alcohol. That was for the kids, basically. And we started it, we did it at school a couple of years, we did Sacred Heart a couple of years, and we brought it to the complex about 5 years ago, soon, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
And that's worked out great because it's kind of like a 1 point something mile run for, 7th grade and under. We give out medals. Last year we introduced a chip type timing, which worked out great as far as results and stuff. And a couple of years ago, we said, let's make it a whole family day, and all the 5 sports groups that represent KYSO would set up booths, or like football set up the pads and stuff to tackle, and soccer was kicking into a net, and like baseball had a radar gun to see how fast you could throw, all little things that like kind of would get kids interested in playing and trying out the different sports. First year we did it that it didn't rain. It was awesome. And people like were loving it. So we thought the next year would be even great, and then COVID hit. And then we thought the
Mhm.
next year would be even better, and then the rain hit. So, but we've managed to do the race last year despite
Yeah.
the rain. And we get the kids T-shirts that basically advertise KYSO. which is like kind of like the whole goal of our thing is the branding, getting that out there, because for years people were like, what the heck is KYSO? So kind of like brought that into the picture a little bit. It's not a huge fundraiser. We may make a couple $100 on it after like medals and whatnot, but it's a fun day for the kids and
Yeah.
you know, every kid that plays a sport runs at some point, so.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the whole thing. Your kids did it when they were little.
They
Didn't
did.
Like the first one
We did, yeah.
at the school.
We
right?
did it at the school. We've been at Sacred Heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, gosh, it seems so long ago.
We lost Pat in the woods at one point. We did. I say we, did,
Found 'em.
I'm not surprised.
So the one there says 8 to 2, but we
Yeah.
haven't really finalized the time. It's
Okay.
usually a couple hours. The race is like half an hour
Yeah.
tops. We do the medals and then, you know, try to keep people around for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, sell a couple hot dogs and a couple drinks or whatever.
Okay.
And it's KYSO, obviously it's a KYSO event, so I'm assuming there's not gonna be any other sports that are gonna be playing or anything on the 30th. I haven't received
Right,
that
and
schedule,
that's
so.
the thing, like, that's why we wanted to do it before, like technically the complex open, so we didn't even run into it, because when we've done it previous years, like done it the following week or whatever, and
Yeah.
soccer already has.
It's already
games,
left, yeah.
And so then we lose like 500 potential kids that could run.
Yep.
You know, because they all have games.
Yep.
So that's why we're trying to like
Sneak it
get
in.
it, and then Sunday is
Okay.
Easter, so we can't do it on Sunday. But we could do an Easter egg run.
You could.
But that's why
Your
we had
eggs
to do
the
it
whole time.
Saturday. We figured people most likely be around.
Okay. All right.
Where's the race? Where does it go from start to finish?
Oh, so it starts in the parking lot just outside the B4 and the Rizzo Field gate. And it runs down along the back road, along the railroad tracks towards the back soccer field. And then it kind of runs around the perimeters of all the fields. So they hit the soccer fields, they run up through B5, through B6, up to B2. They run down through Rizzo, and then there's a chute at the end of Rizzo for them to run through.
Cool. Okay.
One year we did it through the woods and stuff, which was, it was like 2 minutes and 2 seconds in the woods. It literally went in and turned around. But that was a lot of work on my part.
And you lose children sometimes.
In the woods, yes.
So we have like high school students like standing at every cone for every turn, like cheering these kids
Yep.
on like they just won the marathon, and the kids love it.
Yep.
All of them, the adult kids and the little kids, so.
Community service hours. for the kids
Community,
that-
yeah.
So-
Yeah.
That's about that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
If there's no other discussion or concerns scheduling wise, Sue, do you have anything? Nope.
March 30th.
March
weather
30th.
dependent, Complex being open.
Do you want to make that a
Sure.
motion?
But can we make it close to everything else? So that's the only other thing. Like soccer wants
Yeah,
that practice at 8 AM.
No, once it's
Well,
on.
if it's the KYSO event, I would hope that KYSO would
Yeah.
kind of manage that internally as well, to say, hey, this is our
You
own
would hope.
event. So hopefully.
We hope.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the special permit for the KYSO cross-country race, tentatively scheduled for March 30th, weather dependent. And dependent on the complex, Opachinsky complex being open.
I'll second that.
Eileen.
Yes, I'll second that.
All those in favor, Suzanne,
Aye, Suzanne, aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Eileen.
Aye.
I really need to. You made the motion, but
Aye.
And Missy, aye. All right, thanks.
Right, I will
Thank
put
you.
Email out to the board and.
All right.
On our plan and.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If, the one thing I wanted to say, if there is a weather issue, obviously we don't do it. We have to come back again and do just for the race again, because if
No.
we did, if it's a
That's
weather
why it's
issue.
weather dependent.
Yeah,
so
if it is
it- Yeah,
weather issue, we will work the same schedule we did last year, find out when people are done.
Yep.
Before people are on the field, you know, we had the perfect time last year,
Yeah.
did like 4 o'clock, and baseball started at 5, we were done.
I would say just run the schedule through these guys, just to make sure.
Again, KYSO, that's
Yep.
scheduled, so.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you guys.
thank you.
Nice to see
Have
you
fun.
all.
Good luck.
Bye.
See you.
Get home
No,
Luck with hockey.
thanks. All right, so we're on to the Recreation Office Program Administrator update.
So just some updates we have. We've got a lot of Beyond the Bell programs. We have a lot of our teachers that are doing a ton of programs. They're all full. We have a dinosaur program, Fashion Club, How Does Your Garden Groove, which is a musical, Legos, 2 chess clubs, a writers club, board and card game club, homework help, crocheting, And those are just the Beyond the Bell. And then we have a couple of special programs, a chakra cleanse and sound bath on a Saturday. We have some February vacation programs, a Chess Wizards, Little Sprouts for preschoolers, and then a winter art clinic by Melissa Kowal and her crew. And then we also have added a preschool story and craft. And then we're going to be doing a sticker club and the snow globe making club. Snow.
Got all
Well,
that?
that's the craft. What'd you say?
I asked her if she
Lot of
got all
love.
that.
I know.
Here,
You
like,
don't have
typing
to
away.
go for free, all those.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things. So there's a lot
That's
of,
great.
a ton of stuff happening, more adult things as well. So, yeah, a lot of, been very creative with the
Yeah.
programming. So, Brandy is not here because she's going on vacation. So, hope she has fun in the sun in Florida.
Oh, good for
Nice.
her.
Yep.
Lovely.
So just general updates, annual report was submitted to the town administrator for the annual report, and also on the cover of the annual report this year is going to be the playground.
Oh, great.
Great Beach Park playground pictures, so
Awesome.
that will be nice. Just wanted to confirm the movie night, we rescheduled it for Friday, May 11th. I finalized that with the movie company and the licensing, just as a reminder, when we schedule that, I will not be here, so we'll coordinate accordingly as we get
Mhm.
closer.
Yep.
Staff training, one of the things that we've been talking about internally is to do some additional training. We have some funds in our budget for training purposes. So we're gonna be looking into some of those things and seeing, what there is the Massachusetts Rec and Park Association Conference coming up in March. So we might be attending some of those seminars as well, so that will be good. If there's anything you guys see that you think might be applicable, feel free to send along to us. Budget planning updates, our budget has been submitted to the town administrator. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, there's a potential from recommendation to do, I think it's a 3%, don't quote me, I don't have that number in front of me, but I think it's a potentially 3% cut. So our town administrator had submitted a plan, if the cuts were needed to be made, this is what would take place in various departments. There's a potential, if that were to take place, that we would lose $5,000 out of our athletic fields line item. So we don't know that that's gonna happen or not. They have a board of selectmen meeting coming up and finance committee meeting, so again, that's not finalized. But he was asked to let them know what some of the things, and obviously other departments have other situations, but that's where we would see the loss if that were to take place.
Out of our 5,000 directly out of.
Out of
The
that,
field.
the field line item, yep, right now
Okay.
it's at 56,000, I believe, and it would be
That's what I
dropped to
thought too.
51,000.
Okay. All right.
300th committee representative, we currently have a representative on the board that is gonna be resigning, so we do need you to decide or see if there's any other interest in any other board member, so. I don't know if anybody else is interested in joining that committee, and then you guys can vote that person in.
What's it entail?
One meeting a month,
Mhm.
usually, if I remember correctly, on Thursdays. I think usually 4 o'clock, you can zoom in. And it really was just getting started, so the ideas are on the table and, kind of how they're gonna continue with the funding and. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you so far.
You're on it, Missy?
All right.
I am currently on it, but I am going to resign from it.
Missy, I'll talk with you about it. I'm interested.
Okay,
I just want to get some of the details.
sure, sounds good.
Second,
Funny guy, Pat.
Favor of
Funny
Joe
guy.
getting ideas.
I was like, wait a minute.
No, we didn't. That was fake. That was a fake.
Just
one.
kidding, sorry.
Did you just say third, Suzanne?
I said all in favor.
Oh, I thought you said a third.
Joe, you would be great at it, and I'm happy to give you whatever feedback you want.
So
You
ju-
would be
Yeah,
great
well-
at it, Joe.
just
Oh,
tentatively-
thanks.
Just tentatively, if Joe is interested, can the board vote in favor of that so that we don't have to wait till the March meeting to determine that from the board's perspective?
If he chooses to accept it, can we make a motion to favorably approve him if he chooses to accept the task?
I will make a motion to favorably approve Joe. If he accepts the task of taking on as being representative from the Recreation Commission as our person for the town. What is it for? 300
300.
Yeah,
Ready.
Second,
done.
All those in favor, Eileen,
Aye.
Suzanne,
Aye.
Joe, can you vote for yourself?
No,
Abstain.
I,
and if I did, it would go the other way. Go
I
ahead.
know. That's why I don't think you can actually, and Missy, I.
we're all in one. Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, Okay. Thanks, Joe. I'll let you know. Whatever you,
Okay, thank
whatever you need.
I got some ideas for you. We can talk offline.
There you go.
Thanks, Joe.
You're
Uh,
welcome. I think.
I think. Summer K-Rec Connect program planning. So believe it or not, it's that time of year again. We're going to start planning for the summer program. We don't have the official dates yet. I'll be meeting with the director soon to talk more about that, but we are putting together our letters for our returning staff to see who's returning, and we'll know from them by mid-March. And then after that, just in case, you know, sometimes people contact you guys, I'll try to have applications in process, probably somewhere towards the beginning of April, for new hires. So that's the plan for the staffing. And then as far as registrations, again, hopefully try to get that in place by sometime towards the beginning of April for the K-Rec Connect program, not for all the other summer programs, but at least for that program. So again, if people start to ask you that information,
And you post the job openings on the website?
the
and
town website,
newspaper,
correct? Yeah, I don't know if we do the newspaper.
Yeah, I don't know
anymore,
if we
but
do either.
do
Even
the
have
town
that.
website, our website, and then I
Okay.
think Human Resources may post it somewhere else.
I
Kingston
know.
Living, yes.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Eileen, we could do an article.
Definitely. Or at least I'll highlight it.
Yeah,
And direct them to where they need to go to apply.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because we just did the March one, correct? Or have we done?
No,
March?
we did February. We did
Okay.
February. So March, I think, is probably due, I don't know yet, either this week or next.
Yes, right, next week, I think like the 12th or 13th. That would be
Yeah.
great.
So we'll include a blurb. Yep.
Okay,
Thank you for doing those, by the way. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
community preservation updates, the Okochinsky Fields and Drainage Project update. So we met with the engineer back in, I think, the end of December, and he's making some minor changes to the drainage area behind the B1. So I've worked with Paul Bassler about that, and they've coordinated that. So we might move some of the drainage up to further up the road, not on Hilltop's property, but on that street side there to catch some of the water coming down. So I'm hoping to get those plans from him within the next week or two, and then start the bidding process for that project. For the drainage part of that project. So I'll know more for sure in March meeting, but hopefully we'll be either underway or at least have a date of when we're doing those things. We were supposed to have the B2 project done prior to now, but we had some delays in contracting, so they'll be getting out there as soon as the weather permits for them to do that. And then we'll also have the bid on the B1 happening kind of around the same time. So those will be the updates for that. And again, weather permitting, they'll get there as soon as they can. March 7th, there is a capital planning committee meeting for fiscal year 25 requests. I've already met with the community preservation committee twice, I believe. So that's been presented to them. They will be voting. Oh, no, that's March 7th is the CPC meeting. March 7th is the CPC meeting that they will be voting. Community Preservation Committee meeting will be voting on their projects. Is that correct, Suzanne?
I thought March 7th was capital.
February 7th is capital.
February 7th is capital.
Yes,
And
I
then
put it on
March
thing.
7th is CPC. Yes, that is
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So March 7th,
Yeah.
Community Preservation, they're both CPCs.
I know,
The
right?
Community Preservation will be voting on theirs this February 7th, Wednesday night is capital planning is looking for a presentation. So I'll be attending that, and they'll be looking for a presentation. And I don't know if they'll vote at that meeting or not, whether they're in favor of supporting the project or not, but I'll be attending that meeting on Wednesday as well.
Can I ask, do they wait in order for certain things to happen? Like, are they waiting for favorable votes? before they put their votes in of different boards, or how does that usually work? Susie, I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's for me.
Yeah, like,
How does community preservation when they make their decision?
are they waiting for other boards to make decisions before they make a total decision, or?
On what they're pushing forward. So last year, I think they pushed everything forward because if it qualifies, you
Okay.
can't say it can't push forward, right?
Okay,
And so all they can do, last year was a little crazy because I don't think we had any guidelines because we lost half of the folks that were a part of it.
Okay.
So I'll be interested to see if they do it differently this year, especially because there's limited funds on which ones they're recommending to push forward. I'm gonna assume they are. That'll be done a little differently. They didn't do that last year.
okay,
They didn't say which ones they wanted to push forward and which ones they didn't.
okay.
So-
All right.
The other thing is, so just on property management updates, just on the Reed property, we did some repairs at the stage up here. It was just a kind of an unexpected quick repair. We were having some splintering on the stage where the dance kids are up there, so we had that done a few weeks back, so that took place then. The other thing on the Reed, which is not on here, but we had received some money, I believe it was from ARPA, that the board of selectmen and our town administrator allocated for the cooling system unit. So two parts of that is, one, we need to upgrade the electrical in this building, so that will be taking place within the next month or so. I think the facilities department is working with me on that. And then once that's done, we'll be bringing in, they'll be working with a vendor to bring in maybe one or two, couple of units, funding availability dependent on having two units, maybe one up here and one downstairs that will be portable. We can use them here, but then the other great thing about them is we can use them in other areas of the town for cooling systems if we need emergency stations or things like that.
How
So that-
big are they? Sorry.
I don't have the specs, so I'm not really sure.
I mean, are they gonna take up like a big amount of
No,
space? Okay.
no, no,
Alright,
I
they're
think they're
smaller.
4 models, yeah, and
Okay.
they can be moved around a little bit depending on where they have to.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it will definitely help. I mean, it's not an air conditioning system, but it will definitely help have this building be manageable in the summertime.
Yeah, that would be
if we
great.
need to. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Grace
We've
Beach.
been trying.
I know.
She'll be the fun part of it. She's We can't tell
I'll
anybody
be
you're getting
somewhere
married.
warm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you can tell.
I was gonna say, I think that ring on your finger kind of scares that.
Gave it away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Grace Beach Park, so summer planning, we're starting to plan for the Grace Beach Park staff as well. So Missy and I and Keith met tonight to talk about some of that planning. So same thing, we'll be sending out the letters to the returning staff to see who's returning, and then we'll do the same process probably at the beginning of April, where we'll look for new hires for that as well. So parking sticker fees, we do need to vote on, oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't put that up. We do need to vote on the parking sticker fees, whether you want to leave them the same or change them from what they are currently. I believe it's $20 $20 for residents, $40 for non-residents, with a $5 reduction for seniors and veterans is what we currently have.
Didn't we raise it last year?
We
I think
did.
Yeah, so does it make sense to keep it same? Yeah,
I think so.
I mean.
I think it should stay the same too.
Yeah, I mean, we don't sell out, right?
With the out of town stickers, we do because we limit
Correct,
them,
yes.
but in
right.
town, we did not sell out last year. We bought plenty of actual stickers.
Mm,
And last summer, we came close to filling the parking lot, but we never had
Yeah.
a problem. We didn't have to turn anyone away, so.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
and the
Dump stickers
stickers
work,
do
yeah.
work Too, yep.
So I'm fine with keeping it the same, I think. But,
Okay.
I don't know what others think, given the price raise last year.
Yep, I
That's
think we're
fine.
good, and we also put in that veterans discount last year, so I think we just
Yeah.
keep everything status quo. Do we have to vote on that, or we're
Would
not
you-
making
would you
changes?
please?
You wanna
Just
vote on that?
To keep the fees the same.
Okay. Do you wanna make? does
Sure,
someone
I'll make a motion to keep the prices static for Grace Beach for summer of 2024, 2024.
A second on the table,
I'll second that.
and then all those in favor, Joe,
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, okay, Suzanne,
Aye.
I,
Pat, I'd, and Missy, yes, aye. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
And then the parking stickers for the shellfish licenses go on sale March first because they open on April first. So we'll be starting to sell, we won't sell them, the board of selectmen sell them along with their license, but that will be available for anybody that gets their shellfish license. So the sticker fees will remain the same, but that will be in effect just in case anybody asks on March first, just for shellfish licenses only. And then the parking sticker sales will go on
Mhm.
sale April first.
Can we also just double check that the recycling sticker doesn't say, remember last year on their handout, it said that they were allowed to park at Grays Beach, and we found that that actually wasn't
That's correct. They can't
the
use the
case,
recycling.
so they have to
What
fix
was that?
There was just like an issue with the handout that they gave out when they sold the recycling stickers, that it said it also allowed for them to park at Grays Beach and the Ardina. But that actually isn't the case. It's really just for recycling. And
Yeah.
that was a little bit of a confusion for the staff and for the people that bought the stickers. So I just want to make sure we fix that.
I'll change that.
Be the best. Thanks.
Athletic complex field updates, KYSO. I know Carlin was gonna try to make it, but she usually works on Monday night, so it was gonna be challenging for her. So I don't know, Pat, if you have any updates?
The only updates that I have really for them with the sports schedules is that it's been put out there. The unfortunate thing is because of the leagues and groups that they're in, they have a tendency to have last minute type of schedules, and I know that's not ideal for you, but they're trying to push through and work through a couple of minor little things like that, get the schedules in as soon as they can. And I know that there was a good discussion that there needs to be like a second or a deeper vetting of the sports schedules to avoid what happened last year. With the understanding that the rec is ultimately the final say on scheduling, and it shouldn't get to that point. But other than that, that's all the Carlin had.
So I'll send out a KYSO reminder to Carlin and you so that she can forward along that we also need all the sports organizations certificate of liability insurance. For the spring sports ones that haven't submitted those. And then also with regard to KYBSL, they'll need to coordinate the Board of Health permit for the concession stand as well.
I'll talk to Mike about that.
Um,
I know Mike's out, but Mike can help
Okay.
Mhm.
with that.
is there a new person?
Babies.
Okay.
Vacant
At large.
position.
At large. Property updates or turf management update. There was a lot of turf work that happened in the fall. So our contractor came in and unfortunately, I apologize, I don't have all the information in front of me. There was a lime application. They did some turf work on the Reardon field and the Rizzo field like they do every year. There was overseeding and aerification in some of those low spots and the other just standard fertilization applications that we do in the fall took place. The mowing bid update, I'll start working on that probably this month and hopefully go out to bid for that in March, and that will take place, start in July 1. Our current contract is good through the end of June. So that will be interesting to see what happens with that. If anybody knows of anybody, they have to be, obviously have certificate of liability insurance and other things, but the few local vendors will reach back out to and see if anybody's interested. And we'll just kind of take it from there and see what happens. Well, update, not great news for right now. I'm gonna be talking to some other people, but I'm waiting to hear back from 2 well companies that it looks like we may be moving in the direction that we have to replace the wells. So
Wells, as in
wells and as in the wells, yes.
both of them.
So I don't, again, waiting for final confirmation, but so far the information that I've received is not looking positive.
Is it a mechanical and electrical issue, or is it an aquifer issue?
It's an aquifer issue.
Really?
Everything's been done on the mechanical side, everything's done on the irrigation side as far as their end. We put the zones in, we've put their variable frequency drives in, our current well companies come back like 3 or 4 times to check different pressure levels and different things. And so it's a combination that the wells that we have are not very low, first of all, they're not very deep, and they're also not very big. The pipes are, again, I don't have the information right in front of me, so don't quote me, but they're much smaller than we need them to be to do the kind of pressure that we need to get to the back of the complex. But yeah, sometimes afterwards, they just kind of, technically well run dry. I forgot what the terminology was, but we're at that point with those wells. So
I
I'll-
figured with all the rain, like how, I mean, I know aquifers are different, but
it's not even just the water availability.
the table, it's
Yeah, it's just the whole being able to get, he explained it to me and I have it in writing somewhere. I can't remember all the details, but
Drill the existing deep.
that's what I was gonna ask.
I don't think so.
They're gonna go somewhere different with it.
I think they have to, yeah.
Okay.
So I will
Alright.
know more in March, and as soon as I hear more, I'll share that information on that.
That'll
as
help
well.
the mowing.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, without any water.
Wow.
There won't be that issue.
Oh,
Save money in one end and not in the other, so.
Right?
uh,
A little
So,
bit here for a lot of it there.
yeah. So on the budget planning, I did start working on the fiscal year 25 budget. I can't really finalize anything until we get the mowing bid back in place and we know what's going on
With the what?
with the regular budget, because if we lose $5,000 out of our operating budget, then that just shifts everything. So whether we look at it and stay status quo, or we look at it and go, okay, do we need to cut somewhere to make ends meet? So because we can't keep trying to get more money out of everybody else if we can. So we might have to just look at our overall plan and see if we have to make some adjustments down the road. So I'll keep everybody up to date, but that's gonna be a lot, probably in March and April, working on all those things. And then the last thing I have is that they're gonna be doing the Ramsey's run again at the high school. They're all set with registration, so they don't need our support this year, but they did ask if we wanted to do a water station. It's on March 23rd from 9 to 11 a.m. So if anybody's interested in doing that, I have to check my availability. I'll probably be doing that, but if anybody else wants to join me.
It was good.
What's the date again? May? say that
March
again?
23rd,
Oh, March
It's,
23rd.
Saturday.
a Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. for the Ramsey run. They're looking for us to do a water station.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
at the high school and I think we did it on a cross-country trail, like in the
Yeah.
woods. Yep.
Yeah, it was great. It was good to see a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if
I
anything-
will volunteer to help you with that, Sue.
Okay, thanks, Eileen.
I'll be around as well.
Okay,
I'll be around too.
okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Sure.
And we brought our own waters,
I think we did supply the water last year and they helped us
truck it back
truck it
there.
out, yeah.
Yep. Okay. so
Carted
we
us
can-
out there.
We can do that again. Okay.
Perfect, so I'll let them know that.
Yeah.
That's it. The next potential meeting date is Monday, March 4th. And any other agenda items for the next meeting other than what we've already talked about? Nope.
Sue, did you say movie night was May 11th? Why do I
Correct.
have May 10th on my calendar? I probably just wrote it down wrong. Okay.
I think we changed, I think we did say that and then we had
Changed it to
to,
the Friday.
Okay.
yeah. we
Oh, you
had
know what?
to
I
fit-
had, yeah, we changed it from Thursday night because that was still during school and everything to Friday, May 11th.
No, Saturday is May 11th.
Oh, wait.
Saturday is May 11th. That's why.
May
maybe-
10th is a Friday night. I have the minions in as well for Friday,
May 10th.
May 10th.
All right, let me double check my contract with them and I'll send you guys an email. Maybe I just wrote it, maybe it was a typo in the
All right.
agenda. I'll let you know. Thanks.
Mhm.
I thought it said 11th when they sent the contract as well.
Do you?
I do, so we can double check. Okay.
If we do it on May 11th, it's, I mean, that's the,
It's a
date.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to, it's the day before Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Alright.
Mother's Day is the 12th?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
yep. Maybe the dads bring all the kids. to
Yeah.
movies.
There you go. Right?
And the moms get the night and the day.
Yeah. Change things up.
It could be, we could advertise it, special mom's night out.
Yeah. exactly. So go to the movie.
Don't go to the movie. Have somebody bring your kids there, unless you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Anything else?
anything for the agenda? Anybody have anything for the agenda? All right,
Sure.
anybody want to second that motion to adjourn?
All right. Oh, go ahead,
Second.
Susan.
Pick them, they both said I'll
Okay.
second at the same time. All right, all those in favor, Suzanne,
Aye.
Joe,
on the dog.
Aye.
Eileen,
Aye.
I
Missy, aye.
Got it?
Look at us, 7 o'clock.
Wow.